Yeah.
Cheers,
Cheers,
bitch.
bitch.
And I'm gonna take this drink. Today, we're going to craft some fucking tutus with some fucking
Tool, yeah, I think it's called Tool.
I have this, we had a shot of tequila before we started, so don't blame me.
Nice.
So this is, I got it off of Amazon. It's like a roll of elasticity of, what is it called?
Elastic.
It's just elastic?
Yeah.
Why does that sound so weird to me right now?
It does sound like there's a more official name.
Yeah, like what do you have inside your, it's, oh my gosh, it's the, I cannot believe this.
Yeah, I don't know. Elastic band.
Anyways, it's an elastic band. It's only like just about an inch, and it's got little buttonholes. And it does come, I don't have them over here right now, but it comes with a little bag of buttons. So you can sew the button on one side, and then you can adjust per your size.
Oh, so it's for the buttons.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. But what we use the buttonholes for that we aren't putting on is we use the tool and we loop it through we cut a certain length, we loop it through the hole, and then we tie a knot. And that way you can change the colors as you go, or if you want a different color for a different event, you can just untie them and replace them. So you start working on a tutu.
But it looks so good because you can't even, even if you just left the tie on, right? It still looks good.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, were you planning on covering it after?
No, I would just leave it like this.
Okay, yeah. That's what I thought. That's so smart.
Yeah.
Can't even tell.
And
that's really cute.
It's just a super easy way. It's pretty inexpensive, and you can change the colors out, which is the coolest part because I always do a lot of the hash events where we need it's a color or it's a, some theme where the tutu will work, but I only have the one color tutu. So what can I do? I don't want to buy 10 million tutus. So I just make my own.
Such a great idea.
Yeah.
I love it.
And then our topic today aligns with shitty men, as most of my topics do. We're going to talk about incels. So we're going to talk about their community. We're going to go over what they are, how they started, their ideologies, some of their lingo and their language. We're going to go over some major violent events that have occurred in history that were incel rebellion or had incel ideology behind it. And we're going to tie it into some other bullshit manosphere stuff and how it all kind of relates. And then we're going to talk about how, very briefly, because everybody's different, how we can focus on helping children growing up, women and men, to not be douchers. Fucking incels. All right. So what is an incel? How did it start? So incel is short for involuntary celibate, meaning someone who wants sex or a romantic relationship but isn't getting it. So it's involuntary, which is key and weird that they would call themselves that.
Involuntary.
Yeah, if you're trying to be celibate, you're trying to not have sex. I'm celibate.
Yeah.
If you're involuntary celibate, it's because no one wants to have sex with you.
Wow.
And they literally have adapted that.
Are they proud of it? Jeez.
Well, they're in the incel community. It means something different to normal people.
Yeah.
So the term actually started in the 1990s as, I think it was a woman that created an online space for people who were kind of introverted and, didn't do super great with social situations. And so it was people that felt lonely, and it was a supportive and helpful group. But then the online culture changed it into something much harsher. So some of the communities became centered on blaming the women, feeling entitled to sex, and building an identity around anger and resentment. And that is where the incel branched off of the supportive part of things. So people, when we say incel, they're typically talking about the online culture and ideology that is an incel, not just a person who is single or lonely or complaining every once in a while. But researchers describe incel spaces as part of the wider manosphere, which I mentioned before, which is just like a network of online communities that are built around grievance-based ideas about gender and dating. And then grievance is like your belief of being wronged. So that's grievance-based, like you basically believe that you've been wronged. And so that's where the basis of the community like stems from. Like women are somehow doing them wrong by not having sex with them. So incel ideology, which these are their common beliefs, and they're pretty common in the incel communities. They're probably not in all of them, but some are more extreme than others. But the ideology is women are dishonest, shallow, or evil, and are to blame for men's loneliness. So if they're lonely, it's because a woman should be giving them their attention, but aren't. You know how you have the whole, oh, nice guys finish last.
Wow.
Like, don't use that, because that's where you're assuming that you're a nice guy and that you're entitled to something for just being nice to us. That's not how that works. If you were an actual nice guy, you'd respect boundaries, you wouldn't be affected by rejection, and you would not be a douche.
Yeah.
So they also believe, or part of their ideology is dating is a sexual marketplace. So people have fixed value, and it's mostly based on your looks. So the super hottest person ever has a fixed value. It has nothing to do with who they are as a person or their skills that they have for life or the chemistry they feel with their partner. It is completely looks based. And women will only date somebody that is not genetically blessed if there is a status increase and they're like rich or something. Like, but that's the only way. They also, part of their ideology is women have an unfair power because they can choose who to date, and men who are rejected are oppressed. So I'm going to go over that a little bit more in the show, but they think that men are owed sex or affection, and women who say no are denying men something that they deserve.
Wow.
Yeah, I did the dishes, so I deserve a blowjob. Like, motherfucker, if you didn't do the dishes, I was going to have to do the dishes. So who's blowing who more? You're blowing me. It's decided. I'm just kidding.
This sounds like my marriage.
Yeah, that's what you were
My
saying
ex
before.
would only do nice things to me because he expected me to service him every night.
Yeah.
That's the only reason he's nice to me.
Yeah, that was like my ex. He would say things like, I do the dishes and help you with things so that it frees up your time. And I'm like, and it's really wonderful. I mean, there are also dishes that you use, but I appreciate the help and I say thank you. But it's not that he wanted to free up my time. It's that he wanted to free up my time so that I would give it to him.
Exactly.
Not so I could relax or let my hair down. It was because he wanted me to give that free time to him, that time or sex or whatever. And he would say, like, he would always complain about sex, but he would never instigate sex. But I would get in trouble because he would want me to get better. I just want you to get better. Meaning he wanted me to get more confident and get back to being the only one that initiated.
Yeah.
so that he didn't have to do any work himself, because self-improvement, why do that when you can just blame the woman for all the problems?
Yeah.
And then never have to work on yourself ever.
Yeah, actually, I'm going to change that. He didn't do any chores. The only thing he did was take out the trash. But anything nice he did to me, he always did it so that I would be a stimulant.
Did he take the trash out and then come in the house and drop his pants down?
No, he would just hover over me until the kids went to bed.
Oh.
That I put to bed.
With his wiener?
You just might as well, you know?
All right. So some more of their ideology is aggression and dominance are framed as normal masculinity, and empathy and consent are mocked. So if you go into an incel community online and you're like, well, I mean, that's not nice. You wouldn't really want someone to be saying those things about you. They're going to then attack you because it's mocked and it's frowned upon. And that's not masculine and fucking macho.
Or you're going to ruin their little flow of negativity.
Their bubble.
Yeah, because they only want to talk shit and be, oh, poor me.
That's the only thing that makes them feel better, is to put other people down. I remember I was kind of dating a guy, and I saw this post that he had made a comment on, and it was a girl in the Marines, and she had her lashes done, and there was just full of men being like, oh, like she wants cum on them. And it was just
what?
And not even just that. I mean, like, it was completely awful. It was like, what are you even doing in the military, getting your lashes done? Like, you're not even trying. You're just trying to be, you know, like, you're just trying to get out of doing work. I mean, it was literally anything that you could think of that was like the most awful thing you could say about a woman. It had nothing to do with her lashes. It just, these men needed a reason to make nasty comments about women, and he had made one, and that's why it popped up on my feed.
You're like, hell no.
And I saw it, and I was like, I think I took a screenshot of it. It was like, what the fuck is this? Like, that's just a girl who wants to get her lashes done. I've been getting my lashes done since 2017. Like, I don't know if this conversation happened when I had my lashes done, but either way, it was like.
But you presented the text or the message in front of him and asked him like.
Oh yeah, I was like, this is not how you should talk about women. You should not be, you know. And he tried to give me this whole the military, the Marines. What they do is they try to like instill in your brain to put women down so that you don't get distracted by the mission. And I was like,
really?
Okay, well, you're not in the fucking Marines anymore. So you need to,
yeah.
And not only that, but that's not right. But then aside from that, you're not in the fucking Marines anymore, bro.
Yeah.
So like, you don't need to put her down for no reason. You have no mission. You work at a thrift store. I have dated some fucking winners. All right. Some spaces actually talk about, and this again is not all of you fuckers, but the fact that it's a fucking space in general is disgusting. Some spaces talk about violence as a solution or as payback for rejection. So they basically see rejection as like a systematic injustice, you know, like, ugh, so entitled.
Sounds like they have some childhood wounds.
Oh, yeah. Oh, 100%. But like, rather than just viewing rejection as like an individual, like a personal preference or an incompatibility, it's interpreted as oppression. And so like, I always use it when I explain things to Sam. I always say like, you know, dating is like finding the right running shoe. Mm-hmm. That Brooks is just as good as that Saucony, but not to every runner. I'm gonna buy Brooks because that's the brand that works for me, and I'm gonna buy that. I'm gonna buy Brooks. I don't remember the name of the shoes that I do buy, but I think I just got some Ghosts. That's what I think I just got.
Names, but,
well, they're just running. They're just running shoes. So you're like a Nike shoe or an Adidas shoe, right? They're both great. It just depends on your personal preference. It doesn't mean I don't want the Saucony or I don't want the Adidas because they're trash and they are ugly. It's like, my arches don't really work there, and I've been using these, are reliable. I like this. This is more my style. You know, whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
Dating is like finding the right running shoe, and it has nothing to do with the running shoe being poor quality, bad at anything. It has to do with personal preference.
Mm-hmm.
But
which everybody's allowed to have.
Weird. But incels don't view it like a running shoe. They view it as your foot can only wear one type of shoe. And that's it. And that's the way things go. And if the shoe that you want doesn't work for your arches, you're going to destroy your arches anyways and get bad knees and fuck your hips because you must have that shoe. And it's, I don't know if I even...
Who do these people think they are?
They think they're entitled.
Yeah. Like...
Because they know that they're not.
You make up these rules about how we're all supposed to think.
Well, that's what, like, I'll go over it in here. But that's what the echo chamber is when you get into this online community where they all feel like, wow, I feel so much better now that I know that it's the woman's fault. And they're all like, basically like, it's the echo chamber where they're all echoing the same thing. So it's reinforcing this totally negative and false.
Yeah, it's like when somebody wants you to join their bad behavior because it makes them feel better about being bad.
Yeah, yeah. Or, you know, I mean, even on like from a normal point of view, right? People who have lost somebody that's important to them will go to a support group.
Yeah.
And they're with people who are grieving similarly, that are not knowing how to deal with it. Yeah. Obviously, there's somebody there guiding and controlling the things, but like, these types of communities can be super helpful. It's just that this one is like, let's go to this. Oh, I got dumped. I'm going to go to this group where we blame men and, you know, because I'm a woman, I'm saying it was the opposite, you know. We blame it. It's all men's fault. And I don't have to take any accountability for my part in things because it's all the man's fault. And now I'm going to go to the support group where we all acknowledge that it's not our fault.
Yeah.
Man, I feel so much better because I thought it was my fault this whole time. But now that I'm in this whole group of people who are validating that it's not my fault and confirming that it really is women, or, you know, now I'm a man again. I keep switching roles. But, you know, like, becomes super unhealthy, but it keeps it going.
It makes them feel better. But they're not growing or healing.
Or learning normal coping skills or, you know, giving themselves a chance to, like, get free of that ideology and then actually meet a decent person. Yeah. You know? Yeah. So one of their ideologies is the pills. And so it's the blue pill, red pill, black pill. So these labels come from the Matrix and they're basically used like team names for how someone sees dating and gender. So the blue pill is normal, the normal view. People are complex. You can grow. Attraction isn't only looks. You know, dating is like finding a running shoe. It's not that there's anything wrong with it. It's not my preference. The red pill is that dating is a game. Women are hypergamous, which means they chase higher status, either money or looks or whatever. So men should strategize to gain status and dominate. And then the black pill is their hopeless fate. Genetics decide everything. Self-improvement doesn't matter, and rejection is permanent. It's going to happen forever. It doesn't matter what I do. It'll never be better. I don't need to go to therapy. This is just how it is. If half these dudes in therapy, they probably would end up with a super, super great chick. Some self-awareness goes a fucking long way, dog.
Yeah, I think a lot of people carry this type of mindset.
Yeah, I mean, it's in my mind. I always like see people or meet people that I'm like, ooh, incel vibes.
Yeah, incel vibes.
Incel vibes. And it doesn't necessarily mean that they're full or they're on the community, but I can just tell, like,
it's like the same mindset.
that's the same ex I was just talking about. Total incel vibes, because he would come at me like he was obligated to my sex, but yet he didn't have to do anything. He was super insecure all the time. He always blamed his ex. His ex was this, his ex was that, this and that. There was no like, I made these choices too. Or he would say, I stayed too long. But that would be like his only, like, that was my only flaw.
Yeah.
And I'm like, now that I've dated you, I could name 100,000 more.
Yeah.
I wrote them all down.
It also...
We should start a show where we just talk about something important and then we dodge accountability for any of it at all. And we just totally are like,
yeah.
Oh my God, I got so drunk that I tripped and fell and broke my aunt's window. I can't believe she fucking put that window there, that bitch. And you know, who let me drink that much? Like, hello? There's this like person or group or I don't know what it is, but that I follow on Instagram sometimes, and they do the opposite. They're all men, but they put on wigs, and they do women acknowledging red flags and then justifying it. And they'll be like, oh yeah, like, I went to the gym with him and he just stared at every single woman and not me the whole time. And then they'll be like, oh my God, they're like checking out like how they move so they can train you how to do the right workouts. Yeah, that's a good man. You know,
that sounds hilarious.
It's totally hilarious. I can't remember what they're called right now.
I think I saw something like in passing, something like that.
I definitely,
and
when I come across it, and I'll put it on my
hilarious.
story too, because it is hilarious.
That's so funny. It's like making fun of people that
it's basically, yeah, it's like, it's the reason why it's funny is because it's fucking relatable, okay?
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say.
Yeah.
Because I watched this one guy talk about how he was like eating something, like chomping on something. He's like, you know when you see like a red flag and you think, oh yeah, that's a red flag. Oh, but it's not. Or he said something like that, and he just kept
but we all have trauma.
Yeah. And he's like,
they didn't get hugged
but
enough.
I just pretended it wasn't there because, you know.
I'm going to fix it by hugging them more.
So funny.
Just kidding. I'm not even a hugger, so I'm just like, I'm going to fix it by hugging them more, and then I fuck that up too.
You are a hugger. You hug me, or you just do it to be friendly?
No, I mean, I'm a hugger, but I'm not like my love language is not touch. But I do like to be rubbed, but that's not because it's a love language. It's because I would literally let a bum rub me.
I get that. Yeah. I'm a total touch love language person.
I'm an acts of service.
I think that's me too, but yeah.
Yeah, you can run one.
Yeah.
I'll allow it.
You'll allow it?
I'll allow it.
According to Tiffany.
In the typosphere.
No.
It should be allowed.
Typosphere. Oh my
yes.
gosh, I love it.
If the men can have a manosphere, I want a typosphere. And I'm gonna do my own show by myself where we just talk about what is actually happening in my world. By my definition, which is always gonna be based on what I want, and again, no accountability. Like I'm gonna get a really fancy car. And I'm going to have a bunch of men that are hot. I'm going to objectify them in my typosphere. They're going to clean my car for free because I'm the queen.
Are they all going to be like naked when they're washing your car?
No, because in my world, that's still illegal.
Really?
To be naked publicly.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's still going to be children in my world, and I don't want children to be looking at wieners in my world. Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah, I still want to be able to. That's how we know who the creepers are. The ones that have their wieners hanging out when they're not supposed to.
Yeah.
We're like, creeper, I can see your wiener. It almost rhymed.
Almost did.
Anyways.
Not my brother. God.
Speaking of wieners.
My son. Yeah, no, not my brother. It sounds even worse. But my son, I found him watching this on like YouTube, this show where these people will stalk creeper, or they'll find a creeper, a man, on Roblox or whatever, and then they go find him in like the grocery store and they slap him across the face.
Oh, but they're creepy men.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And because at first I was like, why are you watching an abusive show to my son? And he's like, well, they're pedophiles. They catch him online, and then they follow him in the store and they slap him in public. And be like, what do you think about yourself looking at getting little kids to meet you? And
yeah.
Anyways, I was off the subject, but
that's definitely another episode.
Yeah.
That might even be a series.
Ooh, a creeper episode. Okay.
Well, that and like how many men actually get busted trying to meet underage people.
Yeah.
But because they didn't actually meet an underage person and the person they were talking to wasn't actually underage, they don't actually get in trouble. So
really?
We expose them.
Oh, maybe that's why they just shame them in
That's
public.
why they just shame them in public. It's because, yeah, they literally, because there was no technical offense, it identifies the fucking gross ones, but you can't do anything about it. I actually went through and went with Sam, and she was like 12, and we went through all the sex offenders in the area, which in this, right where we live, there's none, but
oh, good.
Not far away, you know, like if she was walking somewhere, she would pass by something, and so we went through and looked at their pictures.
Oh, that's so smart.
Not that like she's gonna remember the picture per se,
no,
but like I just kind of think like it also makes them a real person, and not just this like fake thing that parents make up about how being
you're
worried.
just paranoid, Mom.
Yeah, like
no.
Well, yeah, I'm paranoid. It's because there's half a mile away is a pedophile who got in trouble for lewd acts with a 14-year-old or whatever it is that it says on the website. But I just thought it would be better because I also wanted to see the faces, and I think let's identify these motherfuckers together,
Yeah, plus like I went to this whole class with my daughter at the police station, and they asked everybody like, what do you think a pedophile looks like? And everybody's like, oh, just like they look crazy, but it's like they tried to teach the lesson like they could look like anybody, any normal person.
Well, that and most children are, and again, this is another show. I was like, I don't want to go down this road. But
sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, it wasn't you. I was like, I'm like, yeah, I'm all in, but I'm like, wait.
Yeah, we could go on about this.
Yeah.
That is a good topic to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other types of douchebags. This will be the douchebag section.
Yeah.
All right, so the culture and the vocabulary. So I kind of equate it to, the military, you have your own set of lingo, you understand, you're on a ship. I was on the Navy, but I work for the Navy, and it's like, it's got to pass muster, and Navy word, that's not real, Navy word, that's not real. In the Air Force, we just use normal words, but it's like, it brings the community together to have this whole lingo, this whole like definition of things. And so incel culture uses slang that turns people into stereotypes. So this makes it easier to blame and dehumanize others. So researchers studying online misogyny note that such language reinforces their belief and in the hierarchy of people, and it reduces their empathy. So like when you dehumanize somebody, it makes it easier to think violence is an answer, or
Yeah, that makes sense.
Which is why it gets into it here, but that's one of the reasons why the whole I was just joking is so bad. Not only is it also not taking accountability for your piss poor joke, because we deserved better. If you can't be funny without being fucking offensive, then you're not actually funny. You're just a piece of shit.
Yeah.
But when you dehumanize somebody, you'll say things like, go make me a sandwich, bitch. But I was just joking.
I know that.
But it's a dehumanizing joke. That's sexist joke, right? But
I'm just
and
joking.
then not taking accountability is also the dehumanizing part. Anyways, that might not have been the best example, but
no, that's a great example. It's a good way to not taking accountability.
yeah. So I'm gonna go over some of their lingo, their phrases, and their terms, or yeah.
Okay.
So a Chad, which is a very attractive, competent. I can't even get a word. It's a very attractive, confident man who gets all the women. Which is funny because I always think Chad. I always think the Saturday Night Live guy. I think his name is.
I haven't seen it in a while.
Oh, I'll
Does
play
he
it
have
for you
like
later.
a huge jawline?
I don't know about
Okay.
that, but he dated the Kardashian.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't
Pete?
watched that shit.
He's so funny. He's so cute. Oh, anyways, okay, back to my
I'm gonna
back to my
have
list.
to look that up.
I think he does play something where he's Chad, and
Okay.
but I don't think
I
he's
know
this
there's a
Chad.
whole thing
but
about Chad. Like
Yeah.
I was telling you before, like there's a whole thing with the jawline and the handsome man that
Oh, yeah.
everybody makes fun
oh
of.
yeah, that's so Chad is the attract. That's what
Yeah.
that is.
Yeah.
Stacey's mom has got it going on.
Oh.
Stacey's mom is also named Stacey, according to the incels. No, I'm just kidding. Because Stacey is a very attractive woman who only chooses Chads.
See, I didn't know that.
Well, that's not a
Never
fact.
heard of a Stacey.
Oh, okay.
Because I've heard of a Chad, but I've never heard of a Stacey.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
I like that they, some places have decided to pick fun of the man, and not the woman this time. Good on ya.
Yeah.
A normie is an average person who believes mainstream dating advice. I love they phrase it like, I mean, that's technically what it is, but it is basically just believing normal dating morals and values.
Basically a healthy person.
Yeah. Secure attachment, maybe? I don't know. People are like running shoes. I'm gonna fucking wear that one for a while and I'm gonna return it. I'm just kidding. That's not where I was going with that, but I know that the Roadrunner Sports, you can have shoes for 90 days. And then you can return and get your money back. Anyways. SMV, sexual marketplace. A ranking score for how valuable somebody is as a partner or as a person. Which is one thing that we don't do is rank women based on their looks. It's so objectifying. It's not taking in that you're literally dehumanizing them by giving them a fucking number ranking. Mm-hmm. Because they're actual whole people. Looks maxing, which is trying to raise your value by improving your looks by going to the gym or grooming. Sometimes like getting surgery. Like, I don't know if y'all know. Oh, they definitely know. But boobs are fake. Would be considered looks maxing. Would actually be in the tifosphere is considered looks maxed. Bitches. Mic drop. And then incel rebellion / going ER. So this is important because I'm going to go into their violence next. But violent revenge framing. So ER refers to Elliot Rogers in extremist incel subspaces, who is one of the people who had one of the mass killings that was based on the incel ideology. Oh. And so they, in some spaces in the incel communities, they commend it. They're like, ER, going ER. Like I'm about to go ER means I'm going Elliot Rogers. Like I'm about to go kill a whole bunch of fucking women that wronged me. So they're basically
honoring him. He's like their inspiration.
Yeah. He is, what do they call it when someone dies for a cause? Not a
martyr.
Martyr. I was like, a martyr is an actual thing that kills people. I've been hit with my words. But
martyr.
A martyr.
Yeah. So
he's the Insularder. Example of how this language works. Instead of saying, that woman wasn't interested in me, an incel forum might say, Stacey's only picked Chads. And that turns the rejection into a big ass conspiracy theory. So it's no longer anything to do with you or the work or the self-reflection, and it's a conspiracy. This is how the world works. I'm not a Chad. All right. So before we get into some of the violent stuff, we kind of want to go over like what leads someone down the incel path of douchery.
I love this.
Yes.
Can't wait.
So there are, plenty of studies on incels, especially since the 90s, because once it became well known, there's been all kinds of researchers and studies and surveys going around. Anyways, researchers will describe a pathway that often starts with like actual pain, and like we say, they feel pain, they go to that support group, and then
okay,
right?
So that kind of like
so there's like a real pain that they get
get
rejected, or they get so it typically starts with something real, like real pain, maybe even a parent dying or a dad dying or a divorce. It could be like honest trauma,
like real
for
life
a child.
Shit.
And I want to be clear that when I say that trauma for a child, when you were a child, when you're thinking back, it might not be traumatic for you now to think about your parents being divorced, but it might have been traumatic for baby you, for little 5-year-old you, for 12-year-old you. And so just because it might not be what you as an adult define as a traumatic event does not mean it wasn't traumatic for little you. I'm just saying.
Yeah, most of the time we don't figure that shit out till we get older. Like even now I keep figuring out, that's why I was miserable when I was a kid. But I've always been on a healing journey. But like,
same.
I didn't feel out the I didn't figure out the real deep shit until like later.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I guess it just keeps
like my
coming,
early 30s, I didn't. Late 20s, early 30s, I didn't know what I was doing. I was a mess. Late 30s, started maybe kind of getting it. Yeah. Still being a mess, but I've always been in therapy and trying to figure it out. And I don't know. I think it's just with age comes wisdom, and we try to pass on what we know. Like my daughter's actually learning a ton just by watching how I talk about dating now that she's old enough to kind of comprehend and date, and then seeing how it's similar to hers. And then like we went to my aunt's this weekend, and the whole drive up we're talking about like what happened to me, what happened to her that made us this way. And she still she'll obviously be much more self-aware when she's older, but she's very self-aware, much more than I was at her age. I was completely oblivious that I had anything wrong with me at all at 18.
Yeah, and so was I, and I think that's and I think because we put in so much work.
Let me just rephrase that. I did not mean that she is self-aware of how fucked up she is, but just
she's more than.
But just kind of like, okay, this is a pattern. This is some behavior that I'm noticing in myself. Like I wasn't that self-aware. Yeah,
I think the same. Well, not with all my kids, but like some of my kids, they're completely more self-aware than me, and that's because because of my growth and my constant like eagerness to heal myself and my vulnerability with my kids. It gives them the ability to be more self-aware too. Yeah, because if we're like,
it makes it real.
Yeah, exactly.
That's teaching them the realness. And that actually, we will actually go over, not in that kind of depth, but we go over kind of like, identifying these things and seeing these things happen and it be okay, Yeah. Yeah. All right, so let me go into what usually leads someone to become an incel. Like I said, usually pain. Starts with real pain, but there could be social pain. So there could have been, the communities often attract somebody who gets repeated rejection, has experienced excessive bullying, is always feeling awkward in social situations, and just kind of a general feeling of behind in dating, which in my experience is teenagers in general. But I guess there are, I know some that maybe don't feel that way. Mental health strain. So loneliness, anxiety, depression, shame, and low self-esteem are commonly reported in studies of incels. So like, it's kind of like when you're trying to recruit for a cult or for a white supremacist group, you're looking for people who need something.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And so they have low self-esteem, or they have some kind of other thing that's making them need that bump of dopamine or that belonging. And
especially with cults, they change your identity.
yeah.
But yeah.
Meaning plus belonging. So forums offer a story that explains the pain. It's the system. Women are the problem. And they provide community. So you're getting that community feeling, It's the same, that again, white supremacists, cults, other extremist groups. There's a need. You feel the belonging. Plus this thing is answering why life sucks so much. So now you have an answer and a bunch of people that know that that's the answer, and they're embracing, welcoming you, making you feel like a normal human being. And so you're like, I believe you. I won't question anything. That's what women do with dating sometimes. So I get it. Okay. But like, I'm not going that extreme. I just date a douche every once in a while. What we do. Echo chambers. People share the same angry ideas, which can intensify the whole thing. Right. So that's that whole, yeah. And so in these types of situations, there's the radicalization risk, right? Which is a minority of these types of people with these core wounds move towards fantasies of revenge. It's like revenge mixed with depends. It's where you're so excited that you created a revenge situation that you shit your pants.
Wow, that was good.
Yeah,
it was that on the spot.
Yeah, I had to think of whatever.
Seriously, be a
what was
rapper.
ends, revenge of and it just depends happened to be the only thing that came out of my mouth.
That was really good.
They move towards fantasies of revenge, or what they consider justified violence or harassment. They start actually doing those things, the stalking behaviors, harassment, mass murder, NBD. No big deal. Just gonna go kill a bunch of people because I hate women. But it is important to reiterate that loneliness does not lead to misogyny, and the shift typically happens when pain is paired with the entitlement and the blame-based worldview and the feeling of belongings, core wounds, and all this soup of shit. The shit soup turns into douche jello molds. I don't know. I did my best again. All right. So who is more vulnerable? Which is kind of the same question as I asked before, but there's no single incel personality, right? But some are probably more at risk of harmful behaviors than others. High loneliness and fear of being single and having a repeated history of rejection and it not going well for them. Depression, anxiety, we already went over all that. Angry rumination, which is important, where you're thinking about it and you're replaying it over and over. Like how when my aunt said that thing I was telling you about, I wasn't angry, I was hurt, but it was, I've been ruminating in it.
Yes.
It basically is like soaking, like the Mormons do.
Yeah, because it's like your brain is disturbed, so it's trying to figure it out.
You don't know what the Mormon soaking is, do you?
No.
Okay.
What is the Mormon soaking?
Oh, this is great.
I'm so curious.
All right. So, on the next episode of Craft Me Daddy, we're going to talk about Mormon soaking. Just kidding. So they're not allowed to have sex until they're married. But they want to have sex. So what they do is they have some weird definition of sex. So they'll put
no, don't ruin my wine.
Okay, I'll do mine.
Well, are you really gonna put it in?
No.
Oh, then go ahead.
They're just putting it in, right?
Okay.
And then their friend jumps on the bed. So they're just soaking. They just sit there.
So it's basically
and somebody
not
else
taking accountability of your penis accidentally falling into the vagina?
It's not falling in. It's in there, but it's just sitting there. It's not doing anything. And other people are moving the bed to make it go in and out.
Are you fucking kidding me?
No.
Is this fucking for real?
Yes.
Sorry.
She burped
an inside girl
in astonishment.
Wow.
Her guts were like, no.
I just did it again.
So I just didn't know that you didn't know that. So when I said it, I was joking because I'm like, they're ruminating it. It's like Mormon soaking. Like, I basically meant like it's a penis just sitting in a vagina soaking in all the anger while other people around him are aggravating it.
I don't even need to go to school. Like I just learned from School of Tiffany.
At the hash last night, we were going into like being how like I would be underneath the bed and I'd be like leg pressing and I'd be like, they're like, no, we're done. I'd be like, no, you're not. I still gotta do the other side. And like I have to do my leg press. And I just will let them soak on top of my leg press bed machine.
But their penis is still in there, so it's still like...
That's different religion. So the different... I don't know what the definition is, but...
You know what? Well, I'm coming from the Christian perspective, but I remember somebody I knew, because we're not supposed to have sex before we get married, they would just do like oral sex.
It just is giving me the hardest time tonight. I just was like, oh, I'm just going to pour it, and it just went, oh, go all the way out.
Oh my gosh.
All right. Now that I'm wet.
But you're always wet.
I'm always wet. So who's more vulnerable? Right. Loneliness, rejection experiences, depression, angry rumination. That's where we left off because we're talking about the soaking.
Which is still boggling my mind.
Yeah.
But okay.
It's basically you have the penis of anger soaking in your Mormon vagina of existence. And there's this echo chamber of other people moving the bed while you're soaking.
So they're like the bed shakers.
And no, they're the ruminating. They're the soakers.
Okay.
The echo chamber, all their friends are the ones aggravating the situation. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know how that lines up so perfectly, but it feels like it fucking does, and that is wild. Anyways, hostile sexism and rape myth beliefs. So ideas that excuse sexual violence, basically, like she was wearing that dress, she was asking for it. Why would she walk down that alleyway? Oh, she's a sex worker, so obviously she doesn't mind being raped, or that obviously but not true, right? Like all of these things are like, hey, we still are allowed to say no. And have to be you have to respect the answer no. Also heavy time online and on grievance spaces. So places where you're looking for like finding a reason you're just feeling super wronged and you're wanting to like be like, I was wronged and I need a reason to somebody to blame, and you're going into these different spaces. But so if you're noticing these things in somebody, that's what it's basically saying. Somebody that's noticeably online in these super groups and like grievance based and this or that, like those are people to like kind of watch out for. Which doesn't mean the people with anxiety or depression are going to be hateful or violent. But what we're looking for is the like misogynistic ideology and the loneliness. Basically, when someone says like, oh my God, there was a guy that I was dating once, and like, I heard him on the phone. I was already in bed, and my daughter was there. She didn't know we were dating. So he let us sleep in his bedroom, and he was sleeping on the couch. And I heard him on the phone in the middle of the night. So I left my daughter, came downstairs, and he was saying things like, I made her breakfast, and she didn't even suck my dick.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, and like, oh, this and that. And then I walked downstairs, and I was like, who are you talking to? And he was like, what? Nobody. I'm not on the phone. Well, come to find out, I mean, it was a whole other thing aside from that, but come to find out he was like a major alcoholic, and I think he had like 2 bottles of vodka that night or something. Anyways, I was like, okay, this is fucking ridiculous. I'm going upstairs, and he followed me in. My daughter was already asleep, and I was like, daughter's in here, you need to leave. And he was about to like say something or whatever, but he left. I closed the door, locked it. I packed up my shit. I grabbed my daughter. I asked my friend if I could go stay at his place nearby, because I'm out of town at this place. This is before I lived in San Diego. So I was up in Oceanside, and my friend Chris had a place, and I had his key because I would do a lot of races, and I would stay there. And I don't think he was home, but I was like, hey, I gotta go. And I think he was home because he let me drop Sam off, and I could go run. And I think he like took Sam to breakfast and stuff like that. But like literally it was like 4 a.m. in the morning that I'm like, can you wake up and let me get into your house? Like in La Jolla. Because
what a good friend you have.
Yeah, but literally I was sick. I had a fever the day.
And you went and
he
ran?
made me no, it was I don't know why I got sick and I got the fever, but I was able to go run the next day. But he made me breakfast because I was sick and I couldn't do anything. Like, I literally was floored for that day. It was really weird. And he was like, I made her breakfast and she didn't even give me a blowjob. And I was like, is that what you motherfuckers think is what deserves a blowjob?
Wow.
Because, damn. Because, damn.
Yeah. That reminds me of this story, just real quick. My
No,
friend was dating this guy, and she said that before they even went on the date, he said, I don't want to buy you drinks or buy you anything unless I know I'm going to go home and have sex with you. It was something along those lines, like basically, I'm not going to waste my money on you unless I know I'm going to go home and have sex.
I would have been like,
yeah, and she left. She didn't, but
gross.
But I was like, really? Well, he's pretty upfront, but like, is it really like that? Like,
hey,
guys don't want to put out like,
it's
hey,
not all
buy
guys.
a drink or.
No, that guy. That's one of those things. That's a red flag. He's just making sure that they have a relationship. I see what I'm doing there. I'm just a red flag, right? Oh my God, I can't believe she didn't call him back. He was just making sure that they were going to have some intimacy.
Yeah.
No, like that is one of the biggest red flags. That is 100%.
Yeah.
Walk away.
Yeah, and I think it was like one of those things like where they met on Bumble and he's like, they have on their profile relationship, and then they go and then they like, okay, let's meet at this place, and then like he indicated something about like wanting to have sex, and she's like, well, we haven't even like talked yet, and it's like, well, I need to know first that I'm gonna have sex tonight, otherwise don't waste my time.
Oh, see, like that is like some, which like I kind of go over in some of this too, like art. It's called like the art of manipulation, or the art of, I forget what it's called exactly, but like it basically is like a tactic that they'll use to be like, well, if you're not gonna do this thing, then you know, and that's how they find the ones that will bend to their will. They're so lonely and desperate for a man that they say these types of things, and the person's like, well, you know, like, I just, if that'll make you like me, or like, gosh, I just really think that we're getting along, and like, you know, okay, you know, or whatever. And like, we can't be given in to, if somebody fucking says that to you on a date, the only answer is to pour your drink on them, preferably go into the bathroom, urinate in a cup, come out, and then pour your urine on them, and then walk away and never call them again.
Yeah. Hopefully you find that out before you even go out.
Ugh.
Because that's a waste of
God,
time.
what a shitty thing to happen.
Yeah.
That was your friend?
Yeah, my friend.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
All right. So, I still have a lot more on here, so I'm going to try to go a little faster because we're doing good. This is good.
Yeah.
Why incel ideology is unhealthy for themselves, women, and society. All right, so for the person who becomes an incel, it trains them to believe they're doomed, it increases their hopelessness, and it can worsen the depression because they're in this echo chamber of we're going to be rejected forever, only Chads win. Like, you don't give yourself an opportunity to see that you can win. You can win, you know? It encourages obsession with rankings, like looks and status, instead of real connection and skills. So instead of going out and developing skills or working on how to be a better communicator with women or whatever, you're just bent.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're not working on yourself, which really actually is causing your stagnation in relationships, you know?
Yeah.
It rewards anger and blame instead of growth and accountability, which again isn't going to get you the bad bitches. For women in the world, it increases harassment, stalking, threats towards women who set boundaries. Hey, no, I'm not interested. Well, you're fucking fat. Wow, okay, incel. Cool. It spreads dehumanizing ideas that make violence feel acceptable. It fuels a broader misogyny culture where sexual assault jokes and coercion are minimized. So I've had people touch my vagina in passing, like, oh, I know you want this, and just completely grabbing it. Like it was no big fucking deal that they just completely inappropriately touched me.
Dude, I would snap their hand off.
I lived next to this person, and it was just me and Sam, and he knew it.
Like, kind of knew that.
I
I
felt afraid because he was a big dude who lived next to me.
Fuck.
And it was just me and my daughter, and it was like, if I do something, like what happens then?
Yeah.
You know? So I actually ended up telling the apartments that I lived in. I said, look, I'm not going to the cops because it's going to be his word against mine. There's no proof. You can't, there's no cameras or anything, right? It's going to be, he said, she said, that's just going to cause problems for me. I don't know who he is. I don't know who he's associated to. He's a big dude. He's clearly a douche.
Yeah, that's hard when they know where you live. They're your neighbor.
Yeah. And so I had the worst anxiety living there for so long. I would like look out my peephole before I took my trash out and stuff. And when it was time for me to move to San Diego, that apartment complex let me on my lease for free.
Oh, great.
Because of what happened, yeah.
So you told them.
I told them because I said, I want to tell you.
Yeah.
Because in case this happens to anybody else in the apartment complex, I want there to be some documentation of this. But I'm not going to call the police because what am I telling? This guy touched my vagina.
Yeah.
Like, there's no proof. What is a cop gonna do except for anger my neighbor who lives next to me and knows that I'm just this feeble woman with this feeble child because we are so feeble. But anyways, I definitely wasn't stronger than him.
Yeah.
So anyways, that was the setting boundaries and harassment being increased by these types of people. Oh, the sexual joke. Oh, the jokes. He was like, what? When it happened, he was like, what? What's the big deal?
Yeah.
Because I had said, like, wow, that is extremely rapey and inappropriate. He's like, what? What's the big deal? Don't act like you don't like it. Like, he thought that I wanted, and I'd never hooked up with this guy. Like,
that is just
he thought he was, in his mind, he was like fucking flirting with me. Instead, he was actually sexually harassing me. Yeah, it was shitty.
And my throat talked again.
Yeah, it was like Freya.
I think it's like my other.
Your other throat?
It's like there's another person inside of me that like comes out because they're mad.
Oh, I saw this on X-Files. It's your brother that didn't get fully developed.
Yeah.
And is basically like a living person, but smaller and in your lungs.
Yeah, and they're always there. And then, you know, like they share emotions.
But if they start killing people,
maybe
you need to turn them in to the police.
But maybe just people that deserve it, right?
Well, you can't train them. They have the mind of their own. That's what happened on X-Files.
How'd they get him out?
So he was like a goiter type, like I forget what they call it, where like you're Siamese twins, but you're not Siamese twins. It's basically just like an embedded.
Yes.
Like, so he basically had this. So what was happening was at night he would detach and go out and kill anybody that like pissed him off during the day. Like there was somebody that like asked for the rent and he had to pay rent and he didn't have the rent money. And so the guy that's alive, not the goiter guy, was like, I'm working on it. I'm going to get it. He's like, okay, man, dude, you got to get it. We got to have this money. Like, cause you know what this is, blah, blah, blah. So then at nighttime, the fucking little guy comes out and then like, he's like, doesn't have legs. He just scurries and he's just like,
why doesn't he just stay off then? If he can detach.
I think because he doesn't want people to know that he's killing these people.
Oh.
So he just goes back. And because the big dude, main guy, he drinks a lot, he basically passes out and doesn't realize that that is his twin brother, his little mini twin is detaching and killing these people. And, you know, what a conundrum. All right. So some cultural influences that kind of normalize women as sexual commodities and link masculinity to conquest and lifestyle success are Hugh Hefner and Max Tucker. And the book in 2005 called The Game, which popularized manipulation-based seduction strategies. If you fucking take a peek at this book, it will disgust you. They're literally training men. The only reason why I have not read the whole thing at all is because I think that it will just cause me to have a way too much distrust. Then you'll
turn even more like passionate to women empowerment. You'll be like,
that would be my tipping point where I just break up with Brian and go balls deep in girl crush. That's why I haven't read the book yet. But I've read some like excerpts, and it is, dude. I was like, I actually think I'm ready to know that people are literally doing this on purpose. Like, I don't want to lose the faith because I don't know who is and who isn't, and there are some people that just have this natural skill. Yeah, but we gotta be careful
not to get into because then you hate all men, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I'm just so curious because, like, I love learning about psychopaths, cults, how people actually manipulate, because I'm not that way at all, but I'm like,
The Game.
How do you do it?
You read The Game, you manipulate women, and then you get a good date with a woman.
And then you can just manipulate them by knowing their manipulation.
No, they would just move on to somebody. I think it's also in the book. When you know that your game isn't going to work.
So they just, I can't fuck with them.
Which is why, like, that actually makes me think, I have this friend I used to go out with when I was like 30, 31, whatever. And she was a little bit older than me. She was still beautiful. Beautiful redhead, like voluptuous. And I was a runner. I had my boobs, but like, you know, but I was 10 years younger and everything, right? So like, you'd think I'd be the youthful, you'd think that guys would hit on me more than her.
Yeah.
That was not the case. But also she was very beautiful. But they would only hit on her. I literally, when I lived in the desert, I would never, ever, ever get hit on. And I could not figure out what it was. And it was always Andy. And I was like, I know that she's beautiful, but like, am I just ugly? Like, why doesn't anybody ever come up to me? It was not that I thought that like we were taken away from each other.
Yeah.
But it was like, you know.
It makes you wonder, like
where's one? But one time, one of them hit on her. And then we both went back to my place. And then she went to the bathroom. And he was like, oh, I was just hitting on her to get to you.
What?
And I was like, well, that's fucking gross. I'm not at all like, first of all, I'm going to respect my girls. Not that I believe in dibs. But this is not how you get to me through my friend. I'm not going to throw my friend under a bus, but a certain type of woman that's so desperate for attention would throw their friend under the bus, or would then be like, oh my God, I'm so excited that you chose me.
That is so interesting.
So then they get to find out the type of person that's going to submit and be,
Oh, damn. That's crazy.
So I was like, they're never gonna.
Because guys would never hit on me ever, and when I was younger, I used to get mad at guys because I'm like, I know what you want. You just want sex. Like you never even try. And this one guy totally like was bold and like hit on me, and he's like, can I see your feet or something? And I'm like, what, you have like a foot fetish? And he's like, you want me to take my shoe off right now and show you my feet? And I was like, you know what? I'm going to fuck with this guy. I told him to meet me at a restaurant at a certain time. And I dressed like a goth vampire. And I was like, I want to drink your blood. I'm actually a vampire. And I just totally fucked with him. Never saw him again. But anyways.
That is too much energy that you put in to that douchebag.
Oh, it was so fun.
I mean, it sounds funny and hilarious.
It was just fun. I was like in my 20s and it was just funny.
But like, you could have instead dressed up however you want to dress up and went out and met a nice guy.
No, well, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm just saying
But you know what?
I wasn't into him at all. He was just like insistently hitting on me.
That's
and
the
started
thing.
being a creeper.
The not
so
saying,
like,
not taking no for an answer. That's another tactic. That's another way that men disrespect women is.
Yeah.
They're super
pushy.
Means I'm going to keep trying over and over again. So what this is a part of is essentially a subculture or what they call male supremacy framing. So it's like white supremacy, but it's male supremacy. So incel ideology functions as a form of male supremacist grievance politics. It asserts that men are owed access to women and that women's autonomy represents unfair power. So I want to go over rejection violence. So rejection violence refers to aggression that is triggered by rejection. In case you weren't sure what rejection violence meant. All right. It can include harassment, stalking, threats, assault, and rare cases of murder and sometimes mass violence. And it's always framed as revenge, right? You're getting revenge on somebody who hurt you. Some of the drivers for this type of violence are the entitlement. You have humiliation, sensitivity. You have an externalization of blame. So basically the blaming everybody else, right? Parents and caregivers and therapists should be alert to youth who express violent fantasies about women, including rape fantasies, ideas about keeping women in line, okay, like religion. Anyways, we won't get into that right now. Especially with force, keeping women in line with force, or suggestions that they are entitled to a life free from sexual temptation that they allege women create, like by wearing a short dress. They're creating a sexual temptation, which is not correct. So I'm just going to go over 3 very quickly notable attacks that are linked to incel ideology. So I think one of the first ones was Elliot Rodger, which we went over before, which is the ER. Elliot Rodger killed 6 people and injured many others near the University of California in Santa Barbara. And then he killed himself. He left behind writings and videos that were blaming women for rejecting him and framing his violence as punishment. This attack is often described as the major moment that pushed incel ideology into the public view, so that people actually had this reference point of like who this community was. That was May 2014. I don't know if I said that. So Toronto, Canada, in 2018, Alec Manassian. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I'm so sorry. He drove a rented van into pedestrians in Toronto and he killed 10 people and he injured plenty of others. And the police and the major news outlets reported that shortly before the attack, he posted online about an incel rebellion and praised Elliot Rogers. The attacks showed how online misogyny and grievance talk can be connected to real world violence. So we're starting to see this connection out at this point between this ideology and this violence. And then one in 2021 was Jake Davison in Plymouth, England. So Jake Davison killed 5 people, including his own mother, and then himself. In Plymouth, investigations and reporting noted that he engaged with incel and black pill content online and expressed misogynistic and hopeless views. The Plymouth case is frequently discussed in research and media as an example of how incel-style despair and resentment can mix with violence. And the black pill is like, there's no hope for you. Like, it's all genetic based, right?
Wow. Okay.
So, it's going to change the page really fast. So, I'm wrapping this up, right? How to combat this by raising boys differently. All right. The goal is to raise boys who can handle rejection, feel emotions safely, and respect autonomy, which is my personal, don't touch my vagina when I'm taking the trash out. All right. So we teach emotional language early. Sad, embarrassed, lonely. So feelings don't turn into anger in boys. Mm-hmm. Teach that no is normal information. It's not humiliation. Rejection happens to everyone. It's a shoe, right? Mm-hmm. Separate self-worth from sexual success. Make sure that you're emphasizing that a boy's value is not measured by who wants him. Teach consent as respect and empathy and not as a rule. Don't be like, oh, well, consent is the law. How about consent is respectful and deserving and what you should give every single person in the entire world, you know? Model respect at home. How adults talk about women matters. If you're around people that talk down to women or don't let their children wear short shorts at home because the boys are there, their brothers, that's teaching them. They're teaching the boys how to be the incel, make the girl the problem. Mm-hmm. Model or build belonging offline, like friendships, team sports, mentors, big brother program, big sister program, whatever it's called, community groups. They reduce the isolation and they expose them to more of these normal ups and downs of life. Mm-hmm. And then teach media literacy. Like, talk openly about these influencers that are posting. Like, stop trying to just not let your kids online and understand that they're going to go online. Look at some of these influencers and then talk about them with your children. Mm-hmm. So that they're not getting false information because they're looking at social media anyways. But talk about them about influencers, porn myths, and manipulation content. Like, go over what is manipulation, like from, teach your boys how to not manipulate. And then how to raise girls and women to speak up and stay safe is, teach boundaries early. I don't want that is a complete sentence. We do not need to explain to you why we do not want that. No, thank you. I'm not interested. That's it. I don't have to get into it more. And that should be respected. And that's what we should be teaching our girls. Teach them to trust red flags. Men who react badly to no and insult women, blah, 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 they're insulting women as a group. They're basically saying, I hate women. If you, hey, can I buy you a drink? No, thanks. Okay, you're fat. You hate all women. Red fucking flag. or when you're hearing men talk about Chads or Stacys, that tells you what community they're in, right? Unless they're obviously joking about watching our show and repeating our content. But teach your daughters digital safety, privacy settings, blocking, saving evidence of threats, and how to report. This is really, really important. Teach bystander support. So a lot of people who aren't really confrontational will not go to the cops or say anything themselves. Sometimes we have a friend that will.
Mm-hmm.
And that's super important for some of us that won't speak up.
Yeah.
So set those situations up. Surround yourself with people that will speak up for you, you know? And if you're the other person, speak up. Be the bystander support for the woman. Yeah, friends stepping in, checking in, walking together, helping report harassment. Teach them that they don't have to fix hateful men. And don't date douches. Brought to you by Tiff. Do as I say, not as I do. Not that I'm dating a douche. Oh. Brian and Amir, it's going well.
Good.
That was so heartfelt.
He's not an incel.
He's definitely not an incel. I mean, I don't get any incel vibes yet. I don't think. I got incel vibes early on with the other one. But I was like, these are not red flags. Because I fixed myself with therapy and I will only choose good men moving forward. And I did.
Sometimes they're sneaky, you know?
They're all sneaky.
What about accountability? Is there
Oh, he's doing better.
accountability?
There's accountability.
That's good. I mean, as long as there's acknowledgement about that. You know?
Well, I think that like our problem is like the only time we really argue is if we've had a couple.
Oh, yeah.
And so
Okay.
he gets a certain way, I get a certain way. I think when we talk when we're sober about our issues, which I don't think is a healthy thing to say. I think that like that's almost a sign like, oh, well, if it keeps going, then either we're not compatible or we need to slow down our drinking. Because that is not an excuse to have a bad relationship. You know, like, oh, well, no, it's always fine unless we're drinking. That's not good. You know, that means there's something not being said.
Yeah. Well,
but
I mean,
as of now though, like we've only had a handful of fights in general. We've been together almost a year. So like I'm not.
Wow, really?
Mm-hmm.
Already almost been a year? Doesn't feel that long.
Okay, 9 months? 9 months?
Damn.
So
Okay.
I maybe jumped a quarter.
Time just flies, you know? Should we do confessions? Or should we just close out?
I think we should close out because we are already really long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I couldn't think of a confession anyways.
I totally forgot about confessions. But it's going to be great.
Bitch. I know, you drank it all. It's okay. Empty. Like my heart.
Cheers, bitch. There's an ice box where my heart used to be.
There's a little sip.
Yeah, I saw it like wiggling around on there.